Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 4 of What If Naruto Fell in Love with the Vampire Queen. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to also go ahead and check out the other series. Anime King 2, I post a brand new episode of What If Godlike Naruto was sent to the Marvel Universe, so go ahead, check out that and enjoy guys. And remember, if you're new, yes, I indeed have 4 channels: Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, and Anime Prince, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy, so go ahead, click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support, and yeah, without further ado, what is it, we jump right into this new episode. Don't forget to turn on the bell notification, so yeah, let's begin now guys. So the last spot we left off, Naruto found out about his parents. He also found out that he had 15.3 billion Ryu, as that was rather shocking. However, it was time for his first mission out here. So with that, Naruto was the only one that went, as Jiraiya wanted him to get used to these kind of things, and had the experience because he knew that he wouldn't always be around. So Naruto made his way towards his first mission. First, he had to gather information inside the village. There was a bandit group that was being run by a missing nin. So with that, Naruto made his way out there following 2 bandits, as he took them out easily enough. After that, he proceeded to make his way back towards their main camp, as Naruto had his clones set up explosives all around the place. Before he ignited the things that these men were planning to do to the women of this village. It was despicable that Naruto knew that people like that deserved to die, nothing more, nothing else. The leader came out. It was Aoi Rokusho, missing nin of Konoha. Now Naruto understand why Jiraiya had him studying the bingo book and also knowing about Konoha known missing nins. So with that, Aoi and Naruto stood face to face one another. Aoi pulled the Thunder God blade. However, Aoi was shocked when it did not crack Naruto's sword. Naruto blade was far more durable than the Thunder God blade it seems, as Naruto blade seemed to be humming with excitement as they clashed. Naruto movements were faster and quicker. Aoi stood no chance despite being an A-rank missing nin. Naruto took him down within a matter of a minute, as he was down on the ground done, as Naruto ended him. Despite him being the enemy though, one time there was much goodness in his heart. However, that goodness was snuffed out and replaced with darkness, as Naruto hoped to get rid of all that darkness one day through the entire elemental nation. We then had a time skip at Konoha, as Ino and Sakura were meeting up, talking about recent developments. Both girls had grown a lot. As Ino was talking about Naruto, however, Shiroi had this special little ability of hers, which allowed her to find anyone that was talking about someone that she cared about. She had several more special abilities, however, she scared the living hell out of Ino, putting the fear of Kami into her. Ino didn't know what came over her, but she was afraid to even say Naruto's name anymore, as Sakura was confused by it all. We then returned back to the group. As they made their way, Naruto had done several missions. Shiroi had helped him on a few of them, but Naruto had mostly done all of them by himself. He had grown to be quite a competent and deadly shinobi, as both Naruto and Shiroi got a lot more close since they ended up sleeping together. While that was going on though, Sasuke Uchiha was also getting stronger. However, Sasuke had a little pet that kept on bugging him. This woman, as they had found her once they were moving from a different base. She had bird-like talons on the end of her feet. However, she was rude. She treats Sasuke like he was her doormat, like she was the one in charge of him. Sasuke had a lot of patience to put up with her. It's not that they really care about each other, because if she were to die, Sasuke would not bat her eye at her. However, the both of them had went through pain similar to one another, as they had saw that in one another's eyes. But in terms of caring about her, Sasuke did not one bit. The only thing that he cared about was finding and killing Itachi Uchiha. However, she was not the only one going ballistic. Hinata has changed for some other reason, and something was up with her, as no one really know what it was. However, they will come to find out very soon. Tsunade also found about Shiroi, as Jiraiya would not tell her anything until he returned. Naruto was like Tsunade's surrogate son, so she wanted to know who was this woman, as she was surprised that Naruto got over Sakura, as she thought that he would still be coming here to pine after her, but no, he was with someone else. From what Jiraiya said he really cared about, so Tsunade could not wait to meet this Shiroi. The Akatsuki also regrouped, as it was time for them to commence their hunting for the tailed beasts. However, it was right about the time that Naruto and Shiroi and Jiraiya decided to return, as the years were up, as Jiraiya was confident enough in Naruto's skills, and they were finally going back to Konoha. Shiroi had to keep her anger in check because, from what she had witnessed in Naruto memories, there was a lot of people in Konoha that she really disliked, and she wanted to rip apart. However, she had to make sure that she kept her anger in check for Naruto's sake. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the play check of yourself, and what do you say we jump right into this new episode? Begin now guys. Izumo, one of the eternal gate guards, sighed, as his best friend Kotetsu was once again sleeping. Sometime he wondered if he was a Nara. The village had been quite boring for some time now, and Izumo knew who was responsible. It was Naruto Uzumaki. That kid was always pulling pranks all over the place, causing many riots, and even he sometime had to chase after him. And it was fun, but now the place was boring. Izumo had an idea who Naruto's parents were, given the fact that he was young back then, but he knew Kushina, and the attitude of the two of them were same. And besides, she was the only other Uzumaki besides Mito who had that name, and he doubted that it was a coincidence that Naruto got that name. And besides, most people know, well, some of the higher ups that is. Well, not really higher ups if you put it in that term, because he wasn't that high up. But back then he was a kid, so no one was really paying attention to him. But he knew that the fourth Hokage was wedded to Kushina Uzumaki. And not to mention, the blue eyes and the blonde hair, the resemblance was there. He suspected that Kakashi knew who he was as well, considering that Kakashi wanted Naruto on his team when he passed the academy. Uncle Midarashi, who had wanted a team back then, also wanted Naruto on her team as well, as her reasoning was they had lived a similar life, and she would be able to better understand him. Kakashi's reasons was because the blonde was his sensei's son, and that only he could show the blonde what the will of fire truly meant. However, Kakashi was probably just being a bit selfish. He just wanted to remain close to his sensei's son, in the closest form as possible. The closest he could get to the blonde or reveal anything was becoming his Jonin sensei. Uncle was a bit heartbroken when the third took Kakashi's side. He should know he was a friend of hers. And not to mention, whenever they gather, and she heard that Kakashi only taught them the tree walking, she was pissed off. She had no idea why he would take him on a large mission like that with no support, and they only learned tree walking. It's not like Uncle and Naruto had a personal relationship or anything. However, Uncle has been through a lot, and Naruto has also been through a lot. Pain understand pain. However, back to Uncle and Kakashi, she was furious about what he had done. And when she heard that he was nominating those kids to Chunin exams, she was even more angry, as she claimed that he was unfit to be a Jonin sensei. Sending first Jennings to Chunin exams was like you want to kill your team, and that he probably did not train them for the exams, and he didn't really teach them anything more than teamwork, which was useless in this case. It was no secret that the Uchiha believed that he didn't need a team. However, Kakashi argued that Naruto was in his team now, and he was his student, and if she didn't like it, well, she could take it to the Hokage. She had gave Kakashi a hard glare. However, she will be the proctor of the exams. As most wonder what was the relationship between Naruto and Anko, given this closeness and this protectiveness that she had over him. However, she said nothing. When she found out that Kakashi was training Sasuke, however, when she found out that Naruto was being trained by Jiraiya, she was happy, knowing that he was in, well, you could say good hands. After that, she set out to give Kakashi a piece of her mind, which was pretty bad. Something weird happened between them, because whenever someone mentioned rubber duck or senbons, Kakashi shot her a bit, as Izumo wondered what the hell happened. Izumo laughed out loud, finding the whole thing rather hilarious. That is when he noticed three people coming towards the gate, as he kicked his best friend awake, making him accidentally fall to the chair and release a surprised squeak. As he laughed once again, Kitetsu gave him a harsh glare as he quieted up, as he tilted his head towards the three figures. Once they were close enough, the men were surprised. Leading the two was Jiraiya the Sanin. Behind him was a beautiful girl. She had silver hair and pink slitted eyes. She was really gorgeous. But the final figure though, that was what truly shocked them. Those robes, the gauntlets with the image of the nine-tailed fox on them, the eagle-faced sword strapped to his side, the crossbow on his back. It was the A-rank shinobi, known by the moniker Fox Assassin and nothing else. But his hood was down, so they were able to see his face. That golden blonde hair that spiked out at the sides of his face, as it was tied into a ponytail behind his back. Bright blue eyes that gazed towards the village. Wait, it couldn't be Uzumaki Naruto? Kitetsu said, as he looked towards his friend Izumo, and they noticed how the girl at their arm hooked her on Naruto, like they were an old married couple. Yo, Kitetsu, Izumo. Still on guard duty, huh? Naruto grinned once he was close enough to the two eternal gate guards, a grin on his face, as Kitetsu and Izumo simply chuckled along with the blonde and Sanin. Shiroi gave them a look, before she chuckled after a few seconds. Jiraiya noticed that look that she gave them before chuckling, as he filed away for later though. Naruto, it's great that you're Batman. Konoha has been a little dead since you left, to be honest, said Kitetsu as he controlled his laughter. Huh, and who knew that you would bring back a girlfriend, huh? Said Izumo, giving the blonde a teasing grin, both of them expecting to stutter or stammer or something. However, that wasn't in the slightest. Izumo, Kitetsu, I want you to meet Shiroi, my future wife, said Naruto. They were surprised, as Shiroi blushed at that, as she seemed to be more happier. The blonde has truly grown, both physically and mentally as well, it seems. As both of them gave Naruto a thumbs up. As Shiroi looked towards them, there was a memory when Naruto was 6 years old, and he was being viciously beaten. These two were younger back then. However, they were the ones that saved him, and treated him for some ramen. She looked towards the two with newfound respect. Come on, Naruto, get your ass back in the village already. Hokage wants to see you as soon as possible, said Izumo. There's no doubt about that. Thanks, said Naruto as he stepped into the village. As he glanced over it, Shiroi glanced over the village. As she turned back towards Naruto, she saw the smile on his face. That calmed her and made her smile. Hard to believe he's back, huh? Said Kitetsu once they move off. Yeah, and he's matured a lot as well. I guess all that time with Jiraiya-sama worked wonders for the blonde. He's even got a future wife already. Hey, what about that pink-haired girl, Sakura, that was on his team? Kitetsu said. Well, he did have a crush on her, and that was noticed by everyone. Well, things are about to be a lot different now. However, I wonder how powerful he is right now. Who knows? He's been with a Sanin for 3 full years. One of the strongest ninjas within this village. He must be really powerful. As powerful as Kakashi by now. Yeah, you got a point there. They would have continued until they noticed Sakura and the Konohamaru Corps. As they arrived, greeting them. Sakura and the Konohamaru Corps, said Kitetsu. Hey, you four would never guess who just came back, said Izumo. Meanwhile, so, did Konoha change much since you were last here, said Jiraiya. Nope, not at all, said Naruto. Same people, same attitude, different day. That was an underestimation though, as Naruto received several different looks. A few villagers even waved at him. That was different. Some of them give him an indifferent look, not really discouraging or saying anything. However, a few girls around his age or a bit older, they were checking him out. However, Shiroi would not have none of that. The look that she gave them was enough to freeze their soul 10 times over, making them back off. As some of the guys looked towards Shiroi, as they were smitten by her looks. However, Naruto made it well known that they should look away. As the fox was laughing, teach those pathetic fleshlings that they should not look at your mate, he said. Even Altar was pulsing. See, even his sword agree with me, the fox said. Guys, you know I won't kill them, right? Said Naruto. Then maim them. No. Hack off their limbs then. No, said Naruto. The fox snorted. Fine then, your choice. Just wake me up if something good happens. As Altar pulsed in disappointment, those men were looking at Shiroi with lust. and he wanted his wheeler to do something about it. As Naruto simply pat his hand on top of his sword, eagle head. Hey, said Naruto, hold on a minute. As he jumped up and appeared on top of a pole. As Naruto scanned over the village. Bachan faced on the monument, he said. That brought a smile to his face. It had been so long since he saw Snetty, and his big sister Shizune as well, as his clothing ruffled in the wind, as his hair blew. Big brother Naruto! Voices yelled down below as Naruto glanced down. He proceeded to jump down as he landed. Yo, Konohamaru, Udon, Mogi, he said. He casually greeted the three graduate Genins as he faced the last figure and gave her a friendly smile. Yo, Sakura, he said, as they all looked him over in shock and surprise. The place then got really cold. Was winter coming early? Seriously, it was cold like the goddamn Arctic. But the chills were on the inside, not on the outside. Jiraiya then slowly paused, as he turned his head really slowly and looked towards Shiroi, as she was looking at Sakura. And the look that she was giving her was not a pleasant one. A sadistic look passed through her gaze for a single second, before it returned back to normal. Jiraiya didn't like that look. That look was a sadistic one of pure agonizing pain that someone wished to enroll on someone else. Sakura felt a cold sweat on the back of her neck, and then it was just gone. Now that the disturbing feeling was gone, she took the time to take in Naruto's appearance, and a slight pink entered her cheeks. Who knew that little shrimp she knew as Naruto would become so much more taller and handsome? She would not say this out loud, but Naruto became more handsome than Sasuke. The thought was a shocking one in her head, as she couldn't believe it. She lightly shook her head. He was still probably the same idiotic blonde that she knew, meaning that he still had a crush on her. Confident in that, she gave the blonde a smile. So Naruto, she said, do I look more womanly now, since the last time you saw me? As she was confused when Naruto's face still remained calm. As she felt someone staring at her as she turned to her right. Someone walked past her and moved to stand beside Naruto. She couldn't help but feel like this woman was judging her, like some kind of prey. And this woman was a predator. Looking into her pink slitted eyes, Sakura felt like she had just done something rather stupid. Nah, not really. You haven't changed at all since I last saw you, said Naruto. As Sakura eyed twitched at his answer, completely forgetting about the ominous feeling in the air. However, his tone was far more polite than she expected. Big brother Naruto, who's this girl? Asked Konohamaru, looking towards the girl as she turned towards him. A slight blush came on Konohamaru and Udon's face as he looked towards the beautiful girl. Shiroi-chan, would you like to introduce yourself, or should I? All of them heard Naruto call her Chan, and Sakura then realized he did not say that when he called her name. Shiroi smiled lovingly at him as Sakura noticed that. No, I can do it, Naruto-kan, she said. Hello, she said. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Shiroi, though I'm not sure that is the right thing I should say. She had this gleam in her eyes that seemed to be directed towards Sakura. As Sakura wondered what did she mean by that. What do you mean by that, Shiroi-san? Said Mogi. Very well. I guess I should give a proper introduction. As I said, my name is Shiroi. However, in the future, I will be called Uzumaki Shiroi, seeing that I am Naruto-kan fiancé. She treasured the look of shock on Sakura and Jenny's faces. As Konohamaru Kuro was shocked, this girl was Big Brother Naruto's wife? Konohamaru was surprised, as she was really beautiful, and she was going to be like a big sister to them now. Meanwhile, Sakura was unable to completely swallow that. Just now, Naruto fiancé? Already? What? Her mind was going a mile a second as she tried to digest all of that. A lump formed in her throat as Shiroi turned towards her. Naruto was chatting with the other Genins to not notice her, as she and Shiroi were just looking at each other, seeing that Jiraiya was leering at a few women. Shiroi kind and polite look was now gone. She now had this sadistic gleam in her eyes. Sakura could not for the life of her stop looking into Shiroi's eyes, as she started to feel uneasy and unsettled. She couldn't move as she felt her breath quicken. Fear started to overtake her heart as she looked into those eyes, like this woman was about to end her within a matter of seconds. The moment Shiroi moved her gaze, Sakura released a heavy breath that she didn't even know that she was holding. She prayed to whatever got out there that was listening to make sure she never be in the same room as this woman. Never, ever. Alright, that's enough everyone, you can play catch up later. Right now we have to get to Snatty before she caved in my skull for being too late. Jiraiya half jokingly. The Konoha recruiter looked a bit disappointed however. Naruto promised to catch up with them later as that made them happy once again. Sakura offered to escort them there seeing that she was going there anyway. She made sure to stay away from Naruto not too close, as she could feel Shiroi looking at her whenever she got too close. This girl really did not like her. Meanwhile that was going on, Snatty was in an epic battle that took priority. This battle was the greatest to ever exist throughout the existence of time. This enemy was far greater than any other foes. Passing the likes of Madara Uchiha, this enemy was one of the biggest fiends to ever Kage. Paperwork. And Snatty was the one that hated the most out of all the others. As she looked towards the window, thinking about just chucking the whole thing outside including the decks and just getting drunk. Those thoughts popped up in her head too much time. There was another one with her burning the entire building down so she wouldn't have to do the paperwork, but that was a bit excessive, don't you think? She thought to herself. However, the other part of her mind agreed for her to do that. It was said that Minato was the only Kage that got his paperwork done quickly. How? How did you do it, she said, as she didn't know why but she felt like the photo of Minato was grinning at her. The grin on his face seemed to get wider as he gave her a wink. Snatty almost fell out of her chair as she rubbed her eyes. She must be seeing things, she thought to herself. Yeah, it's just the stress of the paperwork. As she watched the photo carefully, as she looked back towards it. However, it was now normal. Yeah, it was just the paperwork. She raised her fist, she was about to pummel it down into the ground until there was a knock. She breathed a sigh of relief. Come in, she yelled. As the door opened, revealed Sakura and a girl with pink slitted eyes. She could tell instantly that Sakura seemed a bit uneasy. However, the girl seemed rather pleasant. That is when someone crawled in from the window behind her, as he was followed by someone else. The moment she saw him, she was shocked. Bachan, said Naruto in happiness, a big grin on his face. Snatty walked up before she flicked him in the forehead, causing him to stagger back. Don't call me old, you brat, she said. Oh? Is Bachan-chan being afraid of being called out on her own age, said Naruto. Snatty was about to pulverize a blonde, as she was so happy to see him until the girl laughed. Snatty looked towards the laughing girl, who was looking at Naruto with so much love and affection at his antics. As that made her turn towards the woman. You must be Shiroi, if I'm not mistaken, she said. Shiroi turned towards her with a polite nod, as both girls seemed to just look at each other. There was this weird intense moment between them, as Naruto looked towards Jiraiya. Jiraiya didn't know why, but he always ended up getting hurt even for things that were not his fault, so he decided to just stay back. On the other hand, Sakura couldn't wait. The moment her sensei learned about the engagement, she would pound the white-haired girl and tell her to get lost and there would be no marriage between the two. She couldn't wait until, however, she was mistaken. It's nice to meet you, Shiroi, said Snatty, her look completely changing. So you're marrying the kid, huh? She said. I like you so far, she said. Just from those look in your eyes when you look at him a moment ago. As Sakura's jaw dropped. Was her teacher really agreeing with this? Why wasn't she pummeling Naruto in the ground? She already knew about the marriage. Why wasn't she reprimanding him on getting engaged to a woman like this? Couldn't she see how much of a monster she was? It's a pleasure to meet you, Snatty-sama, she said. Her tone was so polite. Oh, and she's polite as well. You could learn something from her, brat, she said, looking at Naruto. As Naruto merely snickered, as Sakura's brain was having a hard time rebooting after witnessing all of that. What do you want, she said, looking towards Naruto. What do you mean, said Naruto. I doubt you would have come back to my office right away after coming without going to your favorite ramen stop first. So I believe you want something, so before I begin with anything, tell me, what do you want? You still know me so well, said Naruto, as he motioned for Shiroi to come closer as he took her hand. As you can see, there's gonna be two of us living in the same place, and I don't think that my little apartment is gonna be fit for the two of us. So you want to buy a new house or apartment, she said. Yeah, So could you allow us to browse through a couple houses you have, said Naruto. Tsunade went down into her decks as she reached out for a couple of files. As she handed Naruto a stack. As they flipped through, it was the listings. Wow, this seemed nice. Impressive. They actually call this a house. Tsunade's eyes started to twitch. That is not even fit for a homeless person. Tsunade's eyes started to twitch rapidly. A lot of those houses were immensely expensive and this girl just brushed them off. What was her standards? As Shiroi was looking at her, as Tsunade realized the girl was doing it on purpose, just to get a rise out of her. It seems that Naruto put her up to it, giving a grin on his face. As she turned and glared towards Jiraiya. Jiraiya sighed. He knew. See, he didn't do anything and yet, he was the one getting the glare. For what? As she also glared at her envoys who were snickering in the corner. Well, he might have snickered a bit a moment ago, but still, he was always in the crossfire. You have a lot of beautiful house batchans, said Naruto. But we found one that we like to purchase, said Naruto. As he handed her the folder on the correct house. 3-story, with a beautiful garden and a balcony on the top floor. It was in the top side of Konoha. This was a really expensive house. It was expensive even by shinobi standards, and it was not really a normal house. This house was secretly being built by Minato Namikaze, as he always dreamed of having a large family. However, he died before he could ever get that dream. So the house was put on forced close. Given the luxury of the house, it was rather expensive, so no one had bought it. Because it wasn't for rent. You sure you want this house, kid, said Tsunade. As Shiroi spoke, of course. We would like to purchase it, Tsunade-sama, she said. Well then, you two are in luck, she said. Seems you have a good eye for picking. The house was created by the fourth Hokage, and it was meant to be given to you. The message was clear. It was created by your father, so it was his right. The blonde smiled as he gave Tsunade a short nod. As she reached and pulled out a small key, and gave it to him. Also, be prepared for extra attention from the villagers. Why is that, said Naruto. Because almost the whole village has their eyes on that house. However, they could never afford it. So you might get some envious looks. I'm sure that we can handle it, Tsunade-sama. Shiroi said. I'm sure you two can. Now get your boyfriend and get out of here. Me and Jiraiya have some business to talk about. As the both of them left. Except for one person who was just frozen in shock. Sakura! Yes, Sensei. I need to talk with Jiraiya. Get going, she said. Sakura nodded as she quickly left, as she couldn't accept the fact that Naruto was now engaged. Once he was gone, she turned towards Jiraiya. You could have at least said hello, you know that, right? She said, not speaking to Jiraiya. And get in here, she said. As Kakashi came in. Meh, he seemed busy. I'll talk to him later, said Kakashi. However, you could see that he was still shocked over the news. Naruto was engaged. Before I begin, I have to ask. Could you get rid of the envoy, said Jiraiya. Tsunade made a single hand sign, knowing that this was serious. Once they were gone, is that all of them? As Jiraiya made sure to scan the room, as they felt a shocker signature fleeing away. Looks like Danzo was getting bolder, said Jiraiya, knowing that Danzo would use the first opportunity to try and listen in on what they had to say about Naruto's growth. Tsunade scoffed, sometime I just want to get rid of him, even though I have no evidence to support it. As Jiraiya simply grunted in agreement before he moved to stand back in front of her. Now, about the kid. I myself is also curious, Jiraiya-sama, said Kakashi. Jiraiya was doing it on purpose, as he was giving them the suspense. Jiraiya, she said with a glare. Fine. Well, Naruto surpassed me a long time ago. As both of them were shocked, Kakashi was the first one to find his voice. You're kidding, right? No, I'm not. The kid has surpassed me. Even in tactics and strategy, he's above your level as well, Kakashi. The kid has excelled in everything that I've teach him. I basically ran out of things to teach him. Well, 2 years ago, he soaked up everything like a sponge, and he excelled far beyond my wildest imagination. While we did not work much on the Kyuubi, he has around 3 or 2 tails worth of his chakra under his control, but I doubt that he will need it. He's become a sage. He has mastered Senjutsu. All in all, he's a Kage level ninja right now. Probably one of the strongest. said Jiraiya to himself. However, the other two hear him, and they were baffled in shock. So you're saying instead of Genin, he should just skip the rank straight up to Jonin, said Tsunade. Jiraiya nodded. Kakashi, once Naruto has finished settling, I want you to test him in combat. 4. Promotion of Jonin rank. I want to see him on the field myself. I understand, said Kakashi, a feeling of anticipation welling up inside of him. Now, she said, what can you tell me about Shiroi? Kakashi was curious as well. Well, I can tell you trying to separate them would be a death wish. She may seem like a well-mannered, kind, and polite girl, but that is only for the people that she actually likes. But once she's angry, she takes this new persona, more dark, sadistic, cruel, without any dread of mercy. I have only seen her anger twice. The first was when she learned about Naruto life in the village. Both Ned and Kakashi stiffened at that. I was certain I could feel her rage from at least 4 miles away. Naruto was able to calm her down, but I could still feel the bubbling rage that was still inside of her. The second was when Naruto overworked himself and me and her went to get some supplies, and this guy tried to hit on her. She politely declined until he started to push it, and he insulted Naruto, despite not knowing him, saying that he was a better guy. She was so calm and okay with it. I thought she would have just let it go until she asked me to go on ahead. The blank look on her face, it actually scared the hell out of me. It was just so different. That switch in personality like a completely different person. Before I could stop her though, she tore his arm clean out of his socket. Both of them. And she incinerated them with a high pressure fire. I was able to come in by then, however. Look in her eyes. It seems like she was ready to burn everything in the vicinity. There was also this dark, sadistic gleam of amusement. So this is a warning that should be taken very, very, very seriously. Don't make her angry at all. There is such darkness that baffles me every time I think about it inside of her. Make no mistake, she is a threat, but only if she's provoked. Tsunade crossed her arms as she went over that. I understand, she said. Well, said Jiraiya, changing the mood completely. It's time for me to provide some research. I'll see you tomorrow, as he jumped through the window before she could yell at him. I should get going as well. I do have to prepare for my fight, said Kakashi as he left. Tsunade pulled out a bottle of sake, as she hoped that she had nothing to worry about, and that these villagers did not do anything stupid. Naruto was in love, she could tell that. Judging the way he looked at that girl and the way she looked at him, she was in love. Love made you do crazy things, and sometimes psychotic things as well. And that is the part that got Tsunade worried the most. Time skip. Certain things made Naruto revert back to a childish look, as he was currently eating his ramen, and it made him revert back to a childish state that Shiroi loved to see. He seemed so unbothered by everything, and he also seems just so happy, and it made her feel happy as well. She knew that she was truly in love. If making your partner feel happy made you happy as well, without a shred of doubt, you knew that you absolutely loved that person without any inklings of doubt in your heart, and she did. Yesterday after their meeting, they went towards their new purchased house. They were near the clan district of Konoha, up in the more richer areas. They got looks. Some of them actually gave friendly waves, but the females were starting to get on their nerve. Now that they saw how handsome he was, and how great he turned out, they were starting to wave at him, and the girls were giving him those looks of lust, as she made it known that he was hers. And there was this stupid guy that tried to walk up to her, and like he was about to say something, but the look that Naruto gave him, as it made her feel all tingly on the inside to see him that protective over her. Just one look on the guy quickly back off. The house was more than beautiful enough and big enough to think that his own father made this home. He was probably expecting a large family, to have brothers and sisters for Naruto. Thinking about it, that chibi version of his father appeared in his mind, as Naruto imagined his father flashing around and building the house, as they proceed to unseal all the furniture that they obtained during their travels. They already talk about this, so they got furniture from all over. Furniture that was rather expensive and alluring. It seems that Naruto had the eye for detail that was strange given his usually messy house when he was younger. However, he has matured a lot. There was even several paintings that they placed up. The paintings were really strange, but Naruto liked them. They got to work with a few shadow clones from Naruto, As for Shiroi, she pulled a scroll label, F dolls. Naruto started to sweat. So did the fox as he saw the scroll. Why would they be afraid of it though? Well, it was quite simple. When Shiroi was bored and she had nothing to occupy her time, she had this habit of creating dolls. Not just any dolls, mind you. These dolls were special and different. Once she created them though, out of strange weird materials, she placed her power into it. Her chakra was different, far different from anything. It was more similar to TLB's chakra, in a sense, and it made the dolls wake up. Yes, the dolls that she created just wake up, like they were in a dream or something. Naruto was shocked, until the doll shot towards him with immense speed, attacking him. The thing had then grabbed him by the throat and tried to choke him to death. The thing was immediately trying to kill him, and the strength of the thing was shocking. Shiroi was laughing at the whole thing, as Naruto started to panic and freaked out by these dolls. As Naruto had felt himself being choked by this doll, and well, the fox was cheering him on to beat the crap out of it, so he went a bit overboard, and he took in Sage Chakra. And the doll had moved and got to his pouch, grabbing his kunais. That is when Naruto released all the Senjutsu Chakra he had, before he screamed and ran for his life as the doll chased him and launched kunais and shurikens at him. As Shiroi was laughing her ass off as Naruto played with her aka harmless doll, she called it. It was after a few seconds Naruto realized who he was. He then broke off a thick piece of tree branch and started to beat the living crap out of the doll. As Naruto beat it until it cried. Since when did dolls cry? Well, this is anime, so anything is possible. So from that day, Naruto did not want to be near those dolls. Despite being able to beat the crap out of them, they kind of freaked him out. Thankfully, she didn't unseal them though, as in her opinion they were harmless, yet they were trying to kill him. So with that out of the way, when they woke up next morning, they got ready, and she asked for a tour. As Naruto wanted to do this, yes, however, they had a lot more to do. As he gladly showed her around, he even brought her to his favorite spot, on top of the monument. But Shiroi didn't have that much interest in the village. It's just she can't love a place that mentally and physically hurt Naruto when he was younger. In a way, she was just neutral towards it. But seeing him sit down and enjoy his ramen, those things made her happy. As Naruto was also thinking what he could show her that would be of some interest to her. So he had brought her to Ichiraku Ramen, one of his favorite places in the entire world. Naruto-kun, you should slow down a bit, said Shiroi. But this is ramen, said Naruto. The contradiction in his eyes. It was like he truly believed this was the greatest of all. And it would still be there, so you don't have to eat so fast. And besides, don't you want to savor it, she asks. You know, you're right, he said. Ramen like this should be savored. As he then started to take his time, enjoying each bite. And he was surprised how more wonderful it was than just slurping it down. She turned as Ayame and Toki were looking at her. What's wrong, she said. Impossible. You managed to get him to slow down. How, said Toki. Whatever do you mean, she said, acting like she did not know as she took a delicate bite of her noodles. Well, we have been trying our best to get him to slow down, to teach him mannerism, but as you would expect, it's really hard, said Ayame. As Shiroi chuckled, as she had this little superior tone in her voice. Well, I'm proud to say that I know exactly how he thinks. As such, it would make this that I know what would make him listen. After all, savoring the taste is a lot more better than just slurping it down, she said. The pride and arrogance in her tone, Ayame did not miss it one bit. Even so, it has always been a challenge to teach Naruto things. Seeing that he has this short attention span, Ayame said, giving back a little challenging tone as well. Well, I can assure you, for someone like me, it was remarkably easy to teach him some manners even if he was a bit of a brute back then. Oh? Is that so? Ayame said. Well, I imagine it was a bit difficult for you, seeing that he never really paid attention to me when I tried to teach him, Ayame said. Well, obviously you never did a good job, because while I was teaching him, he was paying attention to me, more than I even imagined, Shiroi said, as Naruto's sweat dropped watching the whole of this unfold in front of him. Your girlfriend really isn't afraid to speak her mind, is she? Toki said. Yeah, but that's one of the things I love most about her, said Naruto, with a grin on his face, and that made her calm down. An envoy arrived as he gave Naruto a short bow, surprising the blonde. Hokage-sama wished for you to be at training ground 12 in exactly 4 minutes, he said, as he flashed away. Once Naruto was done, he bid the Ichirakus farewell as him and Shiroi made their way. When they got there, both Jiraiya and Tsunade was there waiting on them. Hey Bachan, what's going on, said Naruto. Naruto, you're gonna be having a test today to see if you are skilled enough to reach Jonin rank. Already? Huh, what's a test, Naruto asks. Your test, Naruto, is to defeat me in combat. They turn, as Kakashi was standing there, in his usual attire, book in hand. Kakashi-sensei, said Naruto. That's right, Naruto, in order for you to retrieve your Jonin rank, you have to beat Kakashi. This match will begin shortly after I say it does. The rules are simple, she said. There are none, she said. Understand, Bachan, said Naruto as he cracked his neck. I understand as well, Tsunade-sama, said Kakashi as he glanced towards a blonde in front of him that seemed eager to get ready. Very well then, let's see what you can do. Good luck. As she and Jiraiya blurred out of sight, appearing into the trees, Shiroi gave Naruto a good luck kiss on the cheek before she vanished. Kakashi was happy to see how much his former student has grown, to see if he has truly surpassed him, and Naruto wanted to show him how much he has grown, how much he has improved, to show him that he was no longer a child. Where does the time go, Naruto? The last time we did this, you were my pupil. As Naruto gripped his fists, Kakashi reached up and lifted his headband. As Naruto took off the robe that was around him, showing his black-orange shirt, his black pants and altar by his side, as he tightened the rope around his waist. Both of them just watched each other for a single moment, as a leaf then fell from a tree. They watched it as it dropped. The both of them erased their presence in a second. They reappeared, their fists clash. As they tried to overpower one another, Kakashi was baffled. As he started to slide back, the blonde actually pushed him back with sheer force alone. As Naruto grinned, Kakashi released the weight, making Naruto fall forward as he swinged his leg. However, Naruto ducked underneath it, showing immense flexibility and twisted his body before he swept Kakashi's leg. However, Kakashi jumped and lashed out with a kick. However, Naruto crossed his arms and pushed him away. Kakashi flipped in mid-air and launched 3 kunais towards the blonde. The blonde flipped and jumped out of the way before he grabbed the last one and tossed it back to his sensei. Kakashi used the bracer on the back of his fingerless gloves to knock it away. Kakashi then activated his trap. The ground broke as a clone burst out of it. His fist coming up gave Naruto an uppercut. Naruto lifted his head though, as the fist passed his face. Another clone flashed behind Naruto and grabbed him in a headlock. The real Kakashi shot forward. However, Naruto activated his wind field. The clones were destroyed. Kakashi was stopped, but Naruto did not stop his momentum as he shot forward. His elbow was about to smash right in his sensei's face. Kakashi tilted his head as he was grazed along the cheek. However, Naruto flipped his leg, twisting his body and brought his other leg around to nail in Kakashi's stomach. This Jonin sensei substituted though, as Naruto's feet shattered the log completely. Kakashi reappeared a distance away. He was shocked that Naruto was so... His eyes widened as he turned. BAM! A fist slammed into him, throwing him away. Kakashi flipped in mid-air several times before he came to a stop. Shocked as he grabbed his face, he looked up and saw the blonde cutting down towards him. He flashed Shuhansen fire style. Farewell jutsu. Naruto flashed Shuhansen of his own, rather fast. Water style. Water phoenix, he said. Just as the jutsu said, a phoenix was created as Naruto spewed water from his mouth. Kakashi's fire was enveloped like it wasn't even there, as mist spread all over, as Naruto water bursts and dissipates. Kakashi kept his eyes open, looking through the mist. Kakashi then saw the mist being twirled and sucked away. When he looked toward the student, he saw wind nature around Naruto, swirling like a dome, blowing away all the mist and channeling it up into the air. Kakashi watched as Naruto reached and pulled out the blade. All the fights I ever had, all the techniques I learned, said Naruto, was exhilarating. However, none of them excite my blood even more than when I draw altar, said Naruto as he shot forward. His speed seemed to have quadrupled. Kakashi was hard pressed as he pulled out a tanto. The moment the blades clashed, Kakashi heard a cracking sound as he jumped away. The tanto shattered, shocking him. He had saw Naruto blade and decided to bring one of his own. However, it did not stand a chance to what Naruto blade could do. Kakashi then felt pain on his right arm. Once he looked, he saw that there was a gash there. But when did he... He channeled his chakra to it to stop the bleeding. However, he could not. To his shock, the thing was pierced with winged chakra. And not to mention the fox chakra was also contained in the blade. Kakashi couldn't believe it, as the wound would not stop bleeding. However, Naruto attacked him once again. Kakashi tried to use the small hilt of the tanto. However, he received several nasty gashes for that. A brutal kick slammed into his gut, throwing him back. Kakashi was panting, shocked how easily he was defeated. It was then that he realized that Naruto did not possess a single scratch on him. Wait, he wanted to do something to end this off. Naruto, he said, "Do you know that the fourth Hokage was my sensei as well?" "Yeah, I knew that my dad was your sensei," said Naruto as he sheathed his blade. As Kakashi held out his hand, he stopped for a moment, his eyes widening in shock. He knew? If that was the case, did he know that he was his god brother? No, he failed to be there for the blonde when he was younger. He did not deserve that title. "Yes, well," he said, "focus on the fight. Before Minato sensei died, he taught me one final jutsu," he said, as a Rasengan formed in his hand. As Naruto seemed surprised. "Kakashi sensei, I have no idea that you could do the Rasengan. Honestly, I kind of hope that you did though." "And why is that?" "Because now I can test mine against yours," said Naruto as he formed a Rasengan in his hand. "Wind style Rasengan," he said. Naruto would not go overboard by using a Rasen Shuriken. This was a downplay version of that, as the tiny wind blades were still in it though. "Is that..." "Yes, the completed version of the Rasengan," said Naruto. Kakashi's eyes widened, before he smirked though. "Let's finish this, shall we?" The both of them move. The techniques clash, causing an explosion of power. Kakashi was left on one knee. His hand was badly burned and scratched. As Naruto stood there unharmed. "He surpassed me," said Kakashi. "You win," he said. "You're no longer a genin. You're now a jonin," he said, with a prideful eye smile towards the blonde. As Naruto blushed in embarrassment before, Shiroi crashed into him, but he held her. "Naruto-kun, that was so amazing," she said, as she gave him a loving kiss. As Kakashi moved towards the two Sanins. "So what do you two think?" said Jiraiya. The both of them now witnessed, so the blonde skipped off. Kakashi a bit more personally, as Tsunade started to tend to his hand. "There is without a doubt that he deserved the rank of Jonin," said Kakashi. Tsunade just smiled. Her mind was already made up a long time ago. The brat deserved it. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see next part and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notifications they posted. Remember, share all of your friends in social media platform. And don't forget to go ahead and check out the other channel, guys. Yes, that's right, I indeed have 4 of them. Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, and Anime Prince, which I post what if on every single day. Yes, you heard that correctly. Every single day for you guys to enjoy. All the links will be in the description, so go ahead, check them out and enjoy. And don't forget to turn on the bell notification, see exactly when I post. So without further ado, what do you say we get the hell out of here? See you guys soon. Peace, guys.